Hey Covenant, my name is Pastor Griffey, the Associate Director of Discipleship, and this is Wednesday Rewind. So this past week, Melody Street answered the question that y'all asked, is free will truly free? And I'm going to be honest, she did an incredible job. I'm a little bit of an academic and a theology nerd, as we've discussed before, and I told her I would love to steal this material for later on, and I probably will. But she put me in the same predicament that I had last week after my message. Now what do I talk about? She really answered the question well. She went thorough, and she even talked about the things that I love, like the tensions between God's sovereignty and our free will. And so I was thinking about what I could possibly talk about. I want to bring out some of that nerdiness and theology affinity and talk about these two words, monergism and synergism. And don't be impressed by the big words. They're pretty simple ideas. So first off, you've got monergism. Mono being one, and monergism is this belief that salvation comes entirely from God and is one-sided. Now, let me unpack that, let me explain that, because that may sound a little heretical at first. Salvation absolutely comes from God, but the belief in monergism is that it comes solely from God, and we do nothing on our part to receive it. It would be like me handing a present to my daughter and her having to accept it. Now, I have a 5-year-old. She's always going to accept the gift. But you can still give somebody something and them not accept it. Think about it as we've talked before in terms of relationships or like a marriage. I can offer someone my love. I can offer someone my relationship, and they can reject that. And this belief of monergism, which is more Calvinist or Reformed theology approach, there's really no option here. If God offers you His love, you must accept it. And this is kind of the basis for some of that theology behind predestination. People are already chosen to receive salvation, and there is nothing that they can do to reject it. Now, on the other hand, what we believe as Wesleyans is this idea of synergism, which is two forces working together. God offers us His love, He offers His salvation, and then we, with free will, choose then whether or not to accept that free gift of salvation. It is a mutual partnering between God who offers salvation and then us who accepts it. Now we kind of zoom out on that and think about it, especially in terms of the very first message that we did in this series. Why do good things happen to bad? Why do bad things happen to good people? When we pull that string back and we look at, especially in salvation, sometimes people think about that question in terms of hell. Why does God send people to hell? Why would a all-loving, all-knowing, full of grace God condemn people to hell for eternity? But when we understand this idea of synergism, we will understand this idea of free will within that, and then couple that with this idea of relationship. I think it makes sense like this. I've pursued my wife for 10 years in marriage, pursued her before we got married. She was able to respond to that marriage proposal. We're now married, we're still pursuing a relationship with each other. Now at any point, I can call that relationship off. I would not. And then that would sever that relationship. I would refuse to have a relationship or ongoing pursuit of my wife. And so when we say, why does God send people to hell? I think the way I kind of look at that or conceptualize that in my mind is that God does not choose to send people to hell. We choose whether or not to accept a relationship with the Father. So if you want to spend an eternity with God, that starts immediately. If you want to pursue a relationship with the Lord, you're able to do that now. He reaches out to you through prevenient grace, through His love, through His wooing of you, through that synergism. And in that understanding of synergism, you have the option to respond. You have free will. He is not going to force Himself upon you. So you get to respond to that. You get to enter a relationship with the Father, and then you get to nurture that throughout your life. And the culmination of that is when you pass away, you become full and complete in glory, and you are able to see the Father face to face in what we call heaven. Now, hell is the alternative to that. Say you don't want a relationship with the Father. That is the choice that the Lord allows you to make. And so you spend your entire life wanting nothing to do with God, and at the end, when you enter into eternity, He gives you that option. You have chosen to not spend time with Him, and you don't want to spend time with Him. Again, He is not going to force Himself upon you. So when we look at free will, obviously it goes to our daily choices, but I think it really starts at that moment of choosing whether or not, within our freedom, to pursue a relationship with the Father or to reject our relationship with the Father. I hope that helps and gives y'all maybe some more language or understanding of what we believe, especially in this Wesleyan movement. And if you want to learn more about this Wesleyan movement, this Sunday, Eric Grayson, our superintendent, will be here to talk about, can we be a movement once again, especially as it goes into the Global Methodist Church. See y'all.